Hello boys, my name is Koyoshi and welcome back to, kind of in the middle of this, Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening 100% playthrough. In the last episode we left off doing a couple of stuff and right now we're kind of just bored. We're going on a world tour trying to collect all the pieces of art we missed. And we'll stop at a specific one because in order to get any more of them, we need Dampé's game to be completed. And to do that, we need almost all of the chamber stones to do that. But while we are waiting, we actually have missed one of the caves that has an upgrade in it. Because there's a arrow upgrade and a couple of other stuff. But since we've already done a lot of these caves, though, we might not be able to find it for a while. So, we'll see. I'm gonna start by doing everything that isn't Mabe Village, just because Mabe Village is a really annoying piece of art that I believe requires you to catch the fish from earlier. It's literally the fish we talked about, Baron thing. If I actually go for that one, I'm probably going to try making sure I catch it off screen first before I do anything else, because that fish has already trolled me enough with a lot of RG. We tried our best to try and force him out, but it just isn't working. By the way, the pieces of art are kind of weird compared to other stuff. And also, while we're doing this, we're gonna get a couple of chamber stones we missed as well. So with that in mind, I'm kind of going in a bad spot here. Okay. Well, I'm gonna warp. I'm gonna make sure I use my warp a lot because I want to make sure that I'm right next to each of the spots. We're basically just going around the area and seeing if we missed any pieces of heart. Now, the final heart thing that I've mentioned is not actually a full piece of heart, but a heart container that is done from finishing the Dampé minigame. That's why we aren't actually able to get up to arts for quite a while. Still though, it's fun. And to get that done, you'll probably need all the chamber stones first, which is what I'm going to try and do. That was a really quick bomb arrow placement. I just realized something. I've never gone into this cave. It's another one of those I kind of just straight up missed the thing the first time. And there's a bomb arrow too. Bomb arrow spot thing as well. So we could do that. Open up more stuff. What does this have? I forget. Yeah, just useless rupees. So the line on the right we'll have our piece of heart. Yep, there it is. Forgot to change off. Alright, where next? We did that cave on the far right already. So now we go down. I'm kind of trying to do this in a linear order while also getting some of the other caves out of the way. This is probably one of those, yeah. I was like, as soon as I looked at it, I was like, shoot, this is probably just a Great Fairy Cave, is it? Yep, I was correct about that. Dang it. At a time waste. Now, in this video, I will be definitely turning in a couple of rewards for sure, just to make sure things don't get boring. Okay, that's the piece of art that I already attained. A lot of the obvious ones I've already gotten. It's some of the hidden ones I've not gotten. One thing I'm gonna keep on checking is how many piece of hearts I have, because if I get to like 2, then that means I think there's nothing else available at the moment. Here's a quick question, by the way. There's still this one piece of heart thing that eluded me for a while, like one of the mysterious caves or whatever. And I have still not found out how to enter that one cave. You'll probably remember it as kind of an obnoxious cave to the right. I think I kind of understand what it is. Speaking of which, that might actually have my heart piece, so I might consider checking that next after I do this. Sure, we'll enter this. We already got the piece of art in here, I think. Or rather, that there's not a piece of art in here. But anyway, yeah. And yes, I'm using a map to see where all the piece of hearts are. And then going into them one by one. Okay. Wait a minute, that's in the spot on the right. I just realized that I think I might have to get it from a different spot. That's awkward. Yeah, right here. Okay, I'm being an idiot right now. Okay, there we go. We got in there. And no, I don't want to cut this out because I want you guys to see the fun that I'm having. One thing that I know that I may have missed is a potential piece of heart in the water. Because there's one piece of heart in the water that's just kind of chilling out of nowhere that's really random. I don't like it. Okay, that one we also have done. We need to check all the magic bat caves nonetheless, though. Alright. That I believe takes care of some of the other ones. Wait, that's the one off to the right, which I already got. Okay, I'm gonna warp up to the seashell thing and just get rid of that right now while we have a chance. And check Amulet Castle while we're at it, I guess, as well. Alright. Let's start by getting a chamber stone from here, which we need all 50 seashells for. So yeah, it's filled all the way up to the top. You have discovered every secret. The proof is in the seashells you hold. I acknowledge the presents it took. May fortune bless you wherever you roam. My task here is finished. Okay. Crazy message, and a bunch of rupees that I never knew existed, and a chamber stone. And that gives me an eerie feeling, okay. And from the looks of it, we got about around a 600 rupee reward or so. Yeah, about 500 or so. That's a lot for finishing the secret seashells. And obviously all that is going to be required for 100%. If you want to get that, you can't skip any of that. Yeah, I think I already got that one too, unfortunately. Trying to remember where all the piece of arts are could get really annoying, especially when you check mostly locations you've already done before. But while I'm at here, I need to warp to the area as part of getting another block. But other than that, I don't really know what else to do. And then after this, After I get the Chainer Stone here, I'm gonna do fishing no matter what. I just want to do that. Also, I just realized that heart I already got anyway. Because you fall down that cave as part of warp thing, and I believe I already got that one. I'm just trying to remember where everything is, really. Let's be honest. Okay, so we have to go back in here to get something, because we actually missed something. And it was exactly what I thought. You get a Chamber Stone from this game, but to do it, you have to do it in sub 30 seconds, which is actually kind of difficult in this game. And cool part is if you get in 30 seconds, or close to 30 seconds or less than 35, you get enough rupees to ride again no matter what, which is cool. Alright, it's basically the same route as before, but we have to use the hook shot, except I have to focus because this is very difficult. So let's do that. Did it. A thing that took me more than at least 5 or 7 tries when I was doing in practice. Of course, now I do it in first try. The big thing that I found was the trick you see there, where you go across to the left, and if you do that, you skip a really obnoxious section that normally takes forever to do that. Anyways, that's a time you can be proud of, indeed. You want a Chamber Stone. Ooh, nice. What does that mean? And see, he gives us 100 rupees for another ride for free, which is really cool. But anyways, while we're here, we're going to do Rabbit's Raid a couple times, but we won't actually be able to finish it fully because we can't do other stuff. So there's lots of updates that have happened since the other stuff, but first, I should probably show you that I have a lot more rupees than I usually do. And you're probably wondering why I have so many. Well, I've been doing this thing for a long time now, and I basically figured out a route to get around almost 300 rupees every single time. It's really cool. You can get extra arrows while you're at it as well. But it has its own difficulties. This part, for example, is probably my least favorite part in the entire game. It's so easy to just get stuck and miss that rupee. But there are a lot of backups you could do. You can go backwards sometimes, and it's really fun. Okay, that's a new miss. It's crazy. I normally don't do stuff this bad, but then... Okay, well, that's a big fail there. You're supposed to go up to that top route to then go down another route to get to 30 rupees, but I missed a grab on one of those, and that's gonna cost me quite a bit of time there. At least with some of them, like that one, even though I missed, you could do that. And I don't get that, because that's way too slow. So that doesn't count, obviously. I'm gonna have to do Rabbit's Raid an extra time just for that, because I want to show you guys the perfect run at some point. But I don't want to do too much of it, too, because then the video will be boring, so... Once we're done with this, we'll probably do Baron farming for a while. We'll see if we can get the Baron fish. By the way, the Baron fish is kind of random. I got it, I believe, on, like, only my... I think when I was available, I got, like... third try it appeared randomly. It was pretty lucky. The Baron is, of course, the biggest and also most random fish in the entire game, only appearing about maybe every 5% or so. It's pretty random, and it takes forever to get to. Okay, so... Okay, that's what I was supposed to do. So by doing that and getting to the right, we can go over here to get a set of 30 rupees and then another set of 20 later. This is how we get a lot of money, and... Whoa, okay, that was something new. I'll take it, because we got a lot of rupees there. And just for fun, we'll get the rupee hidden off here. And there we go. I'm gonna get extra just for fishing as well. Rapids raid again. We need a lot of these to get all the chamber stones, because there's apparently more than one chamber stone we can buy at the shop, which is kind of weird. So yeah. Of course, in the original game, those were not available at all. They were just something else entirely. But in the deluxe version, I believe, starting with that on the Game Boy cover, you could buy chamber stones at those spots. This is probably my least favorite part of the entire Rabbids raid. It's so easy to just mess up and miss all those rupees. So you kind of have to focus a lot when doing this. Your hook shot strategies also don't really work as well, since you're more focused on grabbing rupees really than anything else. But you can see how busted this is. If you want to farm rupees, this is how to do it. You can get around 200 gain when not counting the 100 that you lose from this. Okay, well, getting out of here just so that we can go back to our fish thing and also buy 2 of the chamber stones quickly. And we'll go to fishing next. Alright. Let's go back to here. I honestly don't know where the last piece of art is, other than the fact that I believe there are 2 piece of arts at the fishing game, and one of them comes from the Baron, which we've not caught yet. Right, so let's do this. Alright. I think there are other spots where you can get chamber stones as well, like the other thing has something as well. And there you see it appears again. So I think it's actually an infinite item that you can get whatever you want. It's kind of weird. Oh well. Alright. We need to do fishing now. I may as well mimic the strategy that I did before, which is I basically just go heavyweight and pick out fish at the bottom and just hope that a Baron appears. The first time the Baron appeared, I was really surprised. It just kind of popped out of nowhere. Of course, there's a little problem with it. Sometimes the fish take forever to respawn. But yeah. We'll do a couple practices though while we're away. Remember, to get a fish down, we have to mix in a little bit of pulling to stun it and waiting, because if we pull too much, it starts shaking, and if it's shaking, then the line could potentially break if you take too much, which I already kind of showed off in the first beginning, because initially I was trying to just mash too fast and it caused it to break right away. Of course, there are some times where you kind of want to stun it when it's close, just so you can do that and finish her sooner, but other than that, there's not much you can do. So this is what I'm basically going to do. I'm going to catch a couple of fish, then wait, and then kind of just do other stuff. The swellfish are so tiny that you don't have to do the same strategy. Alright, well, I'm gonna be right back now until the blue fish appears, the Baron, whatever. Guess what we found? Finally, after who knows how long, there's the Baron. You can see him right there at the bottom. You need the heaviest lure to catch him, and he's also the most obnoxious, so this will be my first try ever at this fish. We get a chamber stone if we can catch him, so let's give it our trust, I guess. Here we go. I'm gonna obviously focus, because if the line breaks off at this point, it's gonna get obnoxious. This fish pulls more than usual, so it takes a long time to get him. Got him! I was much faster than last time. Lots of people say they've caught old Baron, but you actually did it. Now that's a lot better. And inside the Baron's mouth is our other chamber stone. And also, we get another random chamber stone, because why the heck not? Just get 2 of them with 1 go there. Okay. By the way, there's actually something I completely forgot about. There's actually figurines you can get as well, and that's where we're going to do that part as well, which is something that I've completely missed. But some of them can't necessarily be gotten the same way. So you remember that CO figurine we won at one point from the trendy game? Well, guess what? There's much more of them. So, for the second half or so of this video, we're going to spend a little bit playing the trendy game and getting every single one of these prizes, because we have to get them in order to do some stuff. And you'll be seeing a little bit of different strategies this time, because you can move either forward or right on your first turn, and we're going to start by doing this, because that's really important. This might be late or early. Be warned, by the way, these prizes are a lot bigger than what you think. If you don't get it exactly right, things get a little bit difficult. And there's one in particular that gets annoying. I was hoping not to actually do that. Whatever. That was way too... I don't even know what I was doing there! I was already doing badness by not immediately resetting this, but... Ugh, just terrible. Okay, let's actually not be an idiot and press the right button this time. Thank you. Okay. So we'll do that and reset. With some of these things, the only way you can get them, truly, is to restart until you get it. And also, it's really difficult to get the right position on it on the first time as well. Alright. Clearly, this first part is not working. So we have to delay it a lot more than usual. Specifically, when it starts moving to the right, it has to start moving at a specific time. Because then it should get stuck in the claw for a little bit, because when it tries to move out of the way, it'll do stuff. Obviously, anything on the moving platforms is the most obnoxious to get, because they're in a spot where it's just terrible. Alright, second try, we sort of got it, chaps, except not. You can see how obnoxious this gets, by the way. Some of these I feel like I just got from pure luck almost, but it's not. It's just skill. It's just really difficult. This is why we got all those rupees. If we didn't have all of them, we wouldn't be able to do this. I'm kind of just rushing, hoping for the best. The idea is your claw has to close when it comes to the right. Okay, I keep going way too late. So apparently I have to go even earlier than that. But how am I supposed to get it to the point where it doesn't move out? So annoying. Also, the rupee can potentially get it away. Right, there. We went very early. Ugh. Really? I am terrible at the trendy game today. Let's reset that and try again. We're not cutting out any of these fails, by the way, because I want to show you how bad I am. 50 rupees lost on one prize, by the way. Absolutely terrible. If this keeps up, we may have to waste time doing that stupid challenge again. I mean, Rapids Raid. Just to get up to enough rupees to afford this again. I'm going to do a different strategy. I'm going to go into the middle and wait for it to come around. Okay, almost worked. All these strategies could definitely work. I'm just timing it pathetically. I need to time it better. You can see how much I suck at this, by the way. The only consistent strategy I found is for this one on the far right. If you wait for the thing to go... If you send the claw all the way to the edge, then send it up to the right so it starts opening and moving as it goes to the left, then you can usually get it clamped every single time. Speaking of which, I'm kind of surprised I didn't do that sooner. I think ever since I missed the first time, I just completely forgot. I feel like an idiot. Alright, let's get that, and while we do that, we're gonna farm up some rupees to get back up a little bit. Right. Yeah. And finally, we got Baron, by the way. Baron's pretty good fish, too. It gives you 100 rupees, and on top of it, you get, a fish. Rupee jobs are quite nice here. Right. That gave us enough for, like, 2 plays. In case you're wondering where you're supposed to return these, you have to go to the different spots. And it'll say for it's this figure, and you have to return them to their specific spots in order to display them. That is how you use the figurines. By the way, it took so long, I completely forgot which ones were. Okay, here it is. Place the Goomba figure here. The other one is the Piranha Plant. And your goal is to display all of them in this area at some point. Okay. Back to the trendy game again. This time we get the spiky. The spiny, rather. Anything on the side is way easier compared to anything up above, because anything at the top takes longer to get. And we flipped him on his back. Okay, that's much better, by the way, first try on that. Okay, the spiny, I believe, goes up here. So, okay, there it is. There are 2 particular figures we can't get until like the late game, so we have to wait until then to do it, unfortunately. And now Boo's next, and Boo's kind of a weird one, kind of shaking around a little bit, and also has a little bit of a wider spot, so we'll have to adjust by moving a little bit more to the right. Beyond that, the strategy is mostly the same. Wait for it to go to the right and have it drop down there. Yeah. Knowing the consistent strategies helps out a lot. For a while, I was having trouble with the ones on the moving platforms. And Boo actually took me a couple of tries in my basic playthrough, but how should I know that, though? One of the easier ones, the Goomba, a one I got on my second try, and my... Oh, for some reason I just couldn't figure out here. It was kind of dumb. And yes, it has to be all the way at the top. If it's even a little bit off, it probably won't work. Okay, so now Boo, which we can do up here. Yeah, the one we were looking at before. There's quite a few strategies that you can use also to get to the areas you need quickly. Like that dash, for example, to get right back to the trendy game. And we have the Cheep Cheep, which is kind of in a weird spot here. As he says, by the way, timing is everything about this game. Alright. This is a smaller one. But his tail's kind of stuck in the side, so it can't actually fall out, which is nice. Alright, first try on that one. Of course, after you play this for quite a bit, you pretty much get into exactly how to get each of the prizes, so you don't have to worry. Disclaimer, this can't actually fly, by the way. Yeah. Just pointing that out. So this one is all the way at Uriah's house. The guy we call for the hints, you know? Alright. One more figure for his room, and then a couple of other figures later. And then we won't be able to win anything for a while. I actually don't know why, but it's just part of the thing. I don't know. Okay, here's Blooper, which is another weird one. This one's really tall. But otherwise, the same as before. Okay, that was a little bit early. But you can be early and still usually get it. Oh, yeah, wait a minute. I remember now. He gets knocked to the side quite a bit. So each of the prizes have different physics, as you can see, and depending on what happens, they can get knocked to the side or whatever. We can still get it, surprisingly, but the rest is literally up to getting the perfect timing, which is very difficult. Surprisingly, we got it, though. Okay. Or at least in the claw. Okay, it's not leaving. We got it on a second try. That's normally an obnoxious one. Of course, coming up soon is probably the most obnoxious prize to win in this entire game. Like, in this entire trendy game itself. And that is the Piranha Plant. The Piranha Plant is probably the worst one. The first time I looked at it, it's like, ugh. It's way too tall for the claw, so it doesn't even get to the right spot the first time. So you're essentially forced to play a waiting game where you move it either a little bit by the head or by the right, and it slowly falls out every time. Unless there's a consistent strategy I've missed, I honestly don't know how to do it. This is one where basically the timing changes, but first we have to get the Shy Guy instead. Oh, by the way, I'm off to the left too much, almost, quite a bit. Surprisingly, we still picked it up, at least. Oh my! I've never seen that happen before. And because of it, we actually didn't win it. or not. Okay, it's still moving. It's still moving. Okay. Well, that was a weird first try. It almost trolled us. That is one thing that can happen with the rupees, by the way. Sometimes the game will just troll you and not give you what you want. Alright. Back to this house for it. This will be, I think, on the far right. Yeah, okay. Place it. We've placed a lot of these figures already. Pretty soon there will be almost no room for any of them. Placing all of them, I believe, actually rewards you with a piece of heart, which is why I'm doing this. Either a chamber stone or a piece of heart. Oh, yeah, here it is. The tough one. The big toughie, the Piranha Plant. As you can see, the claw is way too big for the Piranha Plant to even fit in. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to wait for it to start coming to the right, and then we'll start moving the claw. And there you can see how touchy it is. Full disclaimer, by the way, I don't think you can actually get this on the first try unless you're really crazy lucky. So from here, it's basically going to be a long game. I could try again if I want, but I just realized that the frame is too tall for it. So in order to get this one, you basically have to knock it to the side, and then from there, you're basically forced to just randomly keep on clamping it until, from random luck, it gets flung off to the side. And that could take any number of tries to do. Beyond that, we can go for either the head or the middle part. Beyond that, though, it's all other stuff. So, yeah. This essentially changes one of the most skill-based games in the entire Veil game into now it's an extreme luck game. It's literally luck. And somehow I clamped into it. Well, okay, that was a lot better than I thought. Looks like the middle's actually the best bet, but regardless, I don't see anybody winning this on the first try, just because you have to knock it down before you can even do anything. And then it starts moving around to the right, which just makes it even more obnoxious. So yeah, you can see why that's the worst prize to win in there. Just because of its shape. It's just so hard to clamp, but anyway, we get this. There's, I believe, one figurine left, which we haven't gotten, and another one before that, but we can't actually get those until later. So, yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Okay, it is here. The Pokey. Right. This is another tall one. But it's just barely tall enough to fit in the claw this time. So that means we could get it first try, just like that. Much easier compared to the Piranha Plant. The Piranha Plant is way too tall, like I've mentioned before. And so we got that. Okay, so now 2 full houses are decided. And I believe the last one cannot be gotten till much later. There's a Bow Wow figurine as well, though. Which is what we're missing, probably. Okay, we got that. It's kind of weird what you have to do to get some of these. And in case you're wondering, Bow Wow's not actually the proper name of that thing. What we really should be calling it is the Chain Chomp, because that's what it really is, but I guess people just nickname him that, Bow Wow. That's the idea of it. Anyways, There's a really annoying secret that I've been wanting to show off for quite a while, and I don't think I actually got to do the first time. So remember the obnoxious tunnel we weren't able to go to? The one that kind of blocked off, and our things happened and we couldn't really do anything? Yeah, I think I just figured out what I'm supposed to do, and it's kind of weird. We actually have to go via the Dungeon 4 entrance to actually get in there proper, which is kind of a weird spot, but, don't ask me about that. It was the developers that did this. Yep. And it doesn't even have a piece of heart in it. It's just a connecting cave. How boring. Okay, so there are 2 pieces of hearts we're missing by default, no matter what. Of course, I've already gotten all of the Mabe village hearts, so that means I'm actually missing 2 full pieces of hearts, so with that in mind, I'm actually going to continue right to her now. So yeah, we're gonna go around doing some stuff. Alright. Now, we've already gotten the 2 of them in the trendy game, and we've already gotten the 2 of them in the other spots. So I'm kind of just going to each of these. What the frick? I did not click on that at all. I'm trying to exit the thing, and it did something else that I don't want. In case you are wondering, there are 2 pieces of hearts in that minigame over there. A single piece of heart that can be found in the shop, and 2 more in the fishing game. One for catching a small fish for the first time, and another for catching something else. And another by going down this well, which is our very first piece of heart we attained, actually. And then after that, we have the one on the left. Okay, I'm gonna go up, but I'm gonna go down and right this time. I did not even mean to pick that up. It kind of just appeared in my map there. But whatever. I guess that's cool. By the way, a lot of the piece of hearts are hidden up at the same area. And 2 of them are in Dante's game, but I believe we already got one of them. There's also one directly below that, but we've already gotten that one too, which is right here. Alright, there's one I believe I may have not gotten on the right though, so let's continue down here. Also, there's the cover dungeon again. Yeah. Alright. I just realized there might be one of the other ones that I might have forgotten. Oh wow, this takes us all the way back to the cemetery here, Okay, now let's go below that. Which will be in these 2 caves. which I believe we just did. Yeah, that's right, those are the caves we just did, so now's the other thing, which we already did as well. So, I'm gonna skip all that and head to the right. Yes, I'm using a map, by the way, to figure out where all the piece of hearts are in one of the guides that I found online. 'Cause, yeah, it's fun. Oh, jeez. What the heck? I was stuck. That was silly. I got stuck for a minute because I refused to let go of that button. Really, I should have just chosen not to do anything there. Alright. This is one of them that I almost kind of forget about. Oh, yeah. I knew it. I knew there was one hidden in the water somewhere that might have trolled me, and sure enough, found one of the missed piece of hearts, which brings us to a way for essentially go mode or whatever, which means I can go to the dungeon that I was waiting on for quite a while, and from there we can get our piece of hearts. But anyway, yeah, we have piece of heart there, and other stuff. Whoa, that was a weird position. Okay, we already got the piece of heart here, from the looks of it. There's one cave that I haven't fully checked out yet. Maybe that will have it. Because there's quite a few caves that were blocked off by not having a specific thing. I don't know. I'm trying to remember, though. The real question is, have we gotten this cave yet in a while? This is another one that I kind of forgot about. Sure enough, yeah. I actually have a faster way of doing this now that I know the bomb arrow trick. So let's go ahead and do that, and there we go. Alright, so that just about does it for the thing. Before we do anything else, we do want to kind of start doing some of the stuff, so that's basically all the stuff we have done now, so you can buy chamber stones 7 times in that. Wow, jeez Louise. That's a lot of chamber stones. I didn't know it was that expensive. Now it feels really tempting to just go and do some stuff. Of course, I already have quite a bit of them. And yes, I checked and I have all the collectible normal chamber stones, so at this point, the only thing we can really do now is just do Dampe's minigames, and we'll attain our pieces of heart that way, and we'll also get extra chambers as we go through. So, yeah, back to this again. I am going to start making things a little bit interesting, because I feel like doing Moldor all the time gets kind of boring, so until maybe I do other stuff, I'm going to do all the other bosses instead that I haven't done. Alright. You got a new chamber stone. Let me make that into a chamber for you real quick. And yes, I'm not going to show me buying all of the chamber stuff right away. And I got a plus rupee effect. Ooh. I'm actually kind of interested in putting that in. So yeah, there's quite a few dungeons we can arrange, and also we can arrange dungeons wherever we want. Alright. Yeah. I honestly think this is probably one of the coolest things they've ever added in this game. Being able to make your own dungeons is really cool, I think. And I've had a lot of fun with this already. Alright, I do want an effect panel here. We're gonna add some rupees to here. Because I think that's a thing we should definitely try and do. Okay, hang on. I need to put some chambers on the side real quick. Let's do this one. And link it with a staircase maybe up here, if we can. Or maybe all the way over there just for fun. Keep in mind, you can make your dungeons two-parters if you want, but you're not necessarily required to use stairs all the time. Of course, that'll change the layout of this a little bit. There we go, we finished it. There's quite a few things we have to do. Okay, we're gonna do this one next, which we have to fill in all the stuff, so... we'll make it simple and put the nightmare layer at the end and just connect stuff that's required from there. Like this, and then... I'll kind of just leave it like that from there. I think the simplest way of dealing with these rooms is to just put the ones in the center to the right. And by the way, I don't care what I do. I'm kind of just going to put stuff wherever. Okay, let's put our entrance, which will be this one. I want this one. That one has the pot entrance. The most important thing you need to worry about is if you accidentally put a bomb thing or incorrect room into the wrong spot, then it's possible that it may become bad later. Okay, this one we're just gonna make it dead end, because I'd rather not deal with this. Because having to go left and right all times gets really annoying. We don't have enough key doors. Let's, put 2 in just for fun of it. Make it a little bit more interesting. Gotta have your key doors, as they say. And we'll throw this boss in here just for fun. At this point, we're kind of just putting stuff to connect it. Let's put this random one over here. Oh, which is that. Okay, well, I'm not going into those rooms ever. Let's put a key door here. We need more keys. Not enough keys, you see. Also, that made it a lot more difficult. We might need some more chests to accommodate this. Alright, let's make this a multiple area. So we'll do this. And there, see, we added another chest. Okay, we don't have any other rooms, so we're gonna add this. Which is perfect, because we... Okay, so we have 7 chests and 5 key doors, which is, I think, enough. Oh, wait. No, that's... Oh, yeah, right. I forgot that was center. Whoops. Alright, we'll throw a staircase so we don't actually have to do that part. Alright. Treasure vault. This one's kind of obnoxious because you need to start with a stair and a spot to the right, otherwise you won't be able to begin it. So we're gonna actually start in this corner here. It's one of the more obnoxious ones to do because unless you have a specific setup up, you have to do 2 of these corner realms with chest automatically from the beginning. Because each one of these has to be a chest, otherwise it won't work. So while we're here, may as well put this. And there can't be any unconnected exits, by the way. Okay, well, let's at least throw in a key door to make it interesting. And another one, maybe? I don't know. If you're gonna have a treasure vault, you may as well have some locks on it. So we'll go ahead and put another one here. And that. Okay, which finishes that part. Okay, now the problem. We have to actually set this up so it links properly. And with that in mind, we cannot put any other stairs out. So let's make this short. Let's put this entrance in. Have maybe 1 connecting room just for fun of it, because I like putting connecting rooms. So we'll put this one in the middle. Then we'll put the night mirror up top. I forget what I had in that other one. I'm gonna do this guy, since we haven't seen him yet in a while. Of course, I said that boss was really annoying, but I actually was able to do it pretty well the last time. Okay, I like this one. Let's put this one in. That should connect it all, and now we can record. And before I do anything else, let's check what this one is, because I forgot. That's a slime, okay. I wanted to show you guys the other bosses, because I feel like doing Mode Worm all the time gets a little bit boring. As well as the genie, and then we'll do all the big ones later. Alright. Not gonna actually adventure, though. By the way, I don't know what the amiibos do yet. I haven't actually checked that. I might do a bonus episode on that later, but other than that, no amiibos, probably. Because for one, I don't even have them, and most of the support, at least for amiibos in my area, have kind of ended. Like, they don't really get sold as much, which I feel sad for. Because I used to collect a lot of them. Anyway, though, leave a like if you guys enjoyed, comment, rate, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.